Good morning, CrossFit Linchpin. Today it's November 1st, 2019. Brand new month. Fantastic. So quick video today, hopefully, just about scaling workouts. Every now and then I just like to do a scaling video. I think scaling is critical, and more people that know about scaling, good things happen. So we'll scale today's workout on CrossFit Linchpin. It's actually 3 workouts. Hello from Lebanon. Very cool. Hello, sir. So today we've got 3 short workouts on Linchpin. It's a bit unusual, but variance. We do it every now and then. And so we'll just walk through each one, and then we'll give the scaled version, chat a little bit. You guys got any questions, throw them out there. If not, all good. Enjoy your day. I'll enjoy my coffee, and we'll get rolling. So the first workout, there's 3 workouts with 5 minutes rest between each. I know it's very Monster Mash-ish, but this is okay for the regular workout today because the loading is generally light. There's not a tremendous amount of interference. And I would do things quite differently in a Monster Mash. So first one is 21-15-9 of a dumbbell push press and calories on the bike. There are slightly different calories for the women, which I've got posted on the website, but it's neither here nor there for the purposes of scaling. So the first one, 21-15-9, dumbbell push press, calories on the bike. And the dumbbell push press is prescribed as a pair of 50s for the men, pair of 35s for the women. And so the first scaling option that we could have for that is just use lighter dumbbells, right? Easy, done deal. Another option you could have for that is just, maybe you're going to stick with those dumbbells. They're a little bit challenging, but you're just going to slow down just a hair, right? You may have to break it up a bit more. Okay as well. You could also, if you don't have a set of dumbbells, use a barbell for today. 95 pounds for the men, 65 for the women. That would be maybe the prescribed. You could knock that down as well. And then you could also, potentially, on top of just going a bit easier, on top of using lighter weight, you could also maybe stick with the prescribed dumbbell loading, but instead of making it 21-15-9, you go 15-12-9. You reduce the repetitions. All those would work wonderfully. If you didn't have a bike, okay, maybe you don't have dumbbells, you don't have a bike. So you've got it covered with the barbell, but now you don't have a bike, what are you going to do? Old people will say, well, what sort of bike is it? Is it an assault bike? Is it an echo bike? Both of those will get you fit. Is 21 calories in the assault bike and 21 calories in the echo bike the exact NASA scientist precisely the same amount of effort? No. But they're so darn close that you're going to be absolutely fine. You could use a rower. I intentionally didn't put a rower on there because I didn't want that level of interference with some of the other movements that we have, so it was a bike quite intentionally. But if you had to use a rower, you could use a rower. And if you didn't have a bike and you didn't have a rower, then one of the things I put in down the line, I actually put it in for the limited equipment option, which assumes that you don't have any fancy gear whatsoever, was, I did a little bit different for each one. For that first one, I think I really dosed them up. For that first one, it was 21-15-9 of a dumbbell push press and a burpee. That's going to get it done. So no fancy gear, no nothing. Maybe there's 2 feet of snow outside. You could just stay inside and do that. You're not going to be shortchanged. What you could also do, because I did this on one of the other 2 workouts when I modified it for the limited equipment option, was I put in a shuttle sprint. So if you think about that first workout, that 21-15-9 dumbbell push press and the bike, 21-15-9 comes out to 45 repetitions. Now, it's a fast workout, right? It's sprintish for sure, a sprintish couplet, but 45 repetitions, there's 3 rounds, so to speak, right? The round of 21, the round of 15, the round of 9. So if in general, evenly split, that would be 3 rounds of 15. There are animals on the bike that can do 50 calories in 1 minute. I get that, but they're not really maintaining that pace in a multiple round workout. But those are your freak standouts. Most people going hard in a workout, breathing, doing some dumbbell push press, having to sustain it for 21:59, if they were probably putting in like 15 calories on average per minute, that would be a relatively good rough metric, maybe 10 calories per minute for most women, a good rough metric for a nice degree of effort happening that's sustainable for a short couplet like that. So this is all wrapped up into my point. If let's say that you don't have a bike, then how I would think about this is, okay, on average, the bike per round is a minute-ish on average. So what else could I do that on average would be about a minute's worth of effort? Well, a 200-meter sprint for most people will take less than a minute, but hey, close enough. So maybe if you didn't have anything, you could do a 200-meter shuttle run. So you could do those 21 dumbbell push press, 200-meter shuttle, 100-meter sprint out, 100-meter sprint back, 15 dumbbell push press, 100-meter shuttle, 100-meter sprint out, 100 meters back, 9 dumbbell push press, 100 meters out, 100 meters back. So if you ever find yourself in some sort of a situation where you've got something that takes place on a bike, takes place in a rower, mixed modality, there's some other things going on, and you don't have access to that particular piece of gear right then, you could chop up the workout in your head on a piece of paper, try to think on average how long you would be on that piece of gear, and what would be sustainable given the scope of the workout, and then you could replace it with some sort of the burpee, the sprint, something like that to actually get it done. But bear in mind, you would have to sprint to get that intended stimulus of the workout. So if you did your dumbbell push press, casually jogged 100 meters, casually jogged 100 meters back, did your 15 dumbbell push press, casual, the 9. Great, you're off the couch, you're moving, that's fantastic, but you're not replicating the stimulus of the workout in really the intention that it was. So, that intensity relative to the individual, as we all know, is an important piece there. So that was the first couplet. And you rest five. Where the heck am I? Lost my place in my document. Stand by. Okay, here we go. Then the second workout also takes place on the bike, but we knocked down the reps of calories. So the first one was prescribed as 21:59. Now the second one is 15, 12, 9 reps for time of strict ring dips and then calories on the bike. And I did both of these workouts. I intentionally put the bike second and the other movement first. A set of 21:59 with a pair of 50-pound dumbbells, that's not a laughing matter for a lot of people. So in order to have the highest chance of being able to knock those out in relatively large chunks, I put those first. Instead of having somebody sprint 21 calories on the bike, then they get off, they're staring at those 50-pound dumbbells that now, since they're hyperventilating, seem a whole heck of a lot heavier than they were initially. I didn't want that to happen, so I intentionally put the dumbbell push press first. And I'm doing the same thing on the second couplet, the 15, 12, 9 of the strict ring dips and the calories on the bike. Ring dips are hard enough kipping. You're talking strict, they're quite challenging. So I wanted to start off with the ring dips before you got on the bike. You just had 5 minutes rest. And it's still going to be hard, for sure. And there's going to be plenty of people that are not going to get 15 ring dips unbroken. That's fine. That's totally fine. Maybe they'll do a 6-5-4. Maybe they'll do a 7-8, a 10-5, like whatever it is. But they'll get through that set of 15 as fast as they can. Then they'll get on the bike, hammer those 15 calories. You're going to get off, now winded, now fatigued, and have to have 12 stricties. That second couplet's going to be, I think, appropriately challenging for a lot of individuals, but it's meant to be. It's supposed to be. So that's the prescribed deal, and the women have a slightly reduced number of calories. Their ring dips stay the same, but the calories are slightly reduced, and again, that's posted on our Instagram and website and all that good stuff. The scaled version for that one, with the simplest thing right off the bat, is most people are probably going to struggle with those ring dips. So you could use a band, you could do jumpers, there's various ways to scale that ring dip, but we also have that you could just do dips off the side of a bench or the side of a box, or if you have a set of those, not necessarily rings, but actual bar dips, the Matador or whatever it happens to be, you could do bar dips instead of the ring dips, And if that was too challenging as well, then you could do dips off the bench, dips off a box, something like that, where you get a little bit of a leg assist. The legs are kicked out there on the floor, and it will probably make those dips a lot more approachable for a lot of athletes. But let's say that was also just a bit too challenging. No worries. It's not the exact same, but it's really close. Just do push-ups. Push-ups are going to start to build in a similar manner that strength that you will eventually one day need to do some dips. And if those were too challenging also, then you could do knee push-ups. So again, we could knock this thing down a whole bunch of ways and still make it happen. Or maybe you're going to stick with the ring dips, but you're not going to do 15-12-9. Maybe you'll stick with 15-12-9 for the calories on the bike, but when you go to the ring dips, you're going to do 12-10-8 or 9-7-5 or something like that, but you're going to stick with the real ring dips. I mean, that's 6 or 7 different ways to massage that workout that we just went over, and all of them are going to get you where you need to go. So that's a good way to do it for the second one. And again, you could put in some sprints if you didn't have a bike or a rower or whatnot. The last one today, I like this one. This one's short and to the point, but I think it's going to be a great opportunity for some athletes to really stomp on the gas a little bit if you have that capacity. Low reps, a little bit of a trap. 12-10-8. That's it, 12-10-8. Of a chest to bar pull-up, and again, calories on the bike. 12-10-8, chest to bar pull-up, calories on the bike. So 12-10-8 comes out to 30 repetitions. So 30 chest to bar pull-ups, that's going to wake you up. 30 hard calories on the bike is going to wake you up either. But it's chopped up in these nice little chunks that make it seem very warm, very friendly, very inviting, very unintimidating. It just welcomes you into its home, and then it slams the door shut behind you, and your night changes dramatically. So, 12-10-8, chest to bar pull-ups, calories on the bike. We could scale that to 12-10-8. You could keep the calories on the bike same, but maybe chest to bar pull-ups are too much. Chin over bar pull-ups are going to get you plenty fit. Do chin over bar pull-ups. We don't always program chest to bar, just based upon where we had gone in the past recently. It was time for chest to bars to come up again. That's why chest to bars popped up today. But if you're not there yet, chin over bar pull-ups, just fine. Or maybe you're kind of halfway there, right? So the reps go 12-10-8. Maybe you'll do the first half of each of those sets, chest to bar, and then chin over bar for the remainder. So at 12, you'll do 6 chest to bar, 6 chin over bar for the 10. 5 chest to bar, 5 chin over bar, and you just play that game. That's going to work fantastic. If that's still a bit too much, you can knock it down to the ring row. The ring row is awesome. The ring row is infinitely scalable. Every CrossFit athlete, regardless of how long you've been doing CrossFit, should probably do more ring rows. They're not too bad if your body's at a decent angle, and the more you kick your feet out, and the more your body gets to parallel with the floor, and you can eventually have your feet up on a box, and you're actually lowering your upper body lower than where your feet are on that box. Ring rows are arguably harder than pull-ups. So if you don't have pull-ups, with discipline and consistency in just a simple pair of rings, you will get yourself a pull-up if you just work your ring rows a few times a week. They are fantastic. So, anyway, you can make that happen. And I think we did roughly the same thing for the limited equipment. Yeah, you were good to go for limited equipment. So, that should be it. Hopefully that helps everybody a little bit. Let's see if I missed any questions. I don't believe that I did. It's a quiet morning. Okay, I think we're good. Hopefully that helps some general scaling tips for everybody. Scale as needed, make it happen for you. And I'm going to wander into my garage in a little bit and do this workout. Is it a salt bike or erg? CP8918. We mentioned that earlier in the video. Salt bike will work, echo bike will work. For the bike, calories in the rower would be the same. If you're doing it on the bike erg from Concept 2, we put all these different options on the private track every day in case you have a various piece of gear. But if you were doing it on, let me see what I have here. if you're doing it on the Concept 2 bike erg, you would take the calories that are prescribed and multiply it by 1.4, and that would get you roughly in the ballpark of where you would need to be for the Concept 2 bike erg. So I hope that helps. All right, everybody. Later.